Hey, good morning, everybody. So this is most certainly not my first impression drive of FSD 14.2.1, but it is my first attempt to put this version of FSD through real life scenarios. Heading into work, it'll be about an hour, it says here hour and 2 minute commute, but along the way there's a lot of congestion. I have my opinions of what FSD 14.2.1 is. I will reserve them for this drive, so hopefully you're able to see exactly what I'm talking about whenever I interject and I fill you in on things that are going on. But where FSD 14.2 was a smooth operator, this might be a different story. So let's get into it. Alright, so daylight savings time, 6:57 a.m. You'll notice it start to get a lot brighter right around 7:20 in the morning. So the visibility aspect will definitely improve throughout the video. I'm going to go ahead. I'm currently driving right now. I'm going to engage full self-driving. I'm going to attempt to keep the standard profile for as long as I possibly can, so y'all can get an idea of how standard mode, standard speed profile does in these real world settings. So let's go ahead and hit start. And right now you'll notice that it defaulted to Mad Max. That's where I had it before. I went ahead and put parking lot as my destination. So we're good. We'll be heading straight here, going through a lot of bumper to bumper traffic initially, and then we will get on the highway. One thing that I did notice that other folks ended up commenting, well, there we go. I wasn't expecting standard mode to get into a different lane. I thought it was just going to stay sometimes standard mode. At least my experiences so far with FSD 14.2 has camped out in one particular lane. Almost feels like a chill setting of prior iterations, but pleasantly surprised that it did do that. You'll notice school buses out, so again, it doesn't get any more real than this, but it's actually heading off, going to a different route. But one of the things that folks out there have noticed with FSD 14, the routing is a little over the place, right? One thing that I did notice whenever I try to select my preferred route, enter it in, it automatically deviated from that preferred route and went on to its own route that it calculated. One of the available options at times whenever you're navigating or searching for a point of arrival, it'll give you maybe 2-3 different routes. Here, FSD 14 is not going to take that yellow light. It's going to be 100% safe, and it'll stay here at the red and wait for the next light. But again, giving you the navigation aspect, giving you a few different options, right? Before, whenever you end user ended up placing their preferred route, it's stuck with it, right? I'm completely stuck with it. There's an option here under the navigation settings. It'll give you, before it was offset, well, before it gave you, now I'm thinking about a different thing here. There was a reroute, always has been a reroute to save whatever amount of times. It indicates here, online routing finds optimal route based on traffic conditions. So I get that, right? If it rerouted you and you have this online routing option available and selected, then it's, it may go with that. But prior versions didn't. reroute to save. I've always had it for 10 minutes. You'll notice that it's 1 minute right now. That's that's intended. Whenever I opted for 10 minutes, without fail, right? It always selected the alternate route, or the what I guess the navigation computer indicated a quicker route, so it would supersede my preferred route. It would always give priority to the online routing as long as it saved me 10 minutes, right? Whenever I dropped it down to 1 minute, that solved that problem, right? I was able to select my preferred route, and then it stuck. It stuck that throughout the course of the drive. I also attempted the same thing at a different instance, and lo and behold, it rerouted me to a not preferred route, through a preferred route, but through what online routing deemed to save me 1 minute. There were 2 routes. One route saved me 1 minute, and it stuck with that preferred route. Here it takes the yellow light, so good job. I guess it had enough momentum there, 50 in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. But it did. Even with 1 minute, it's going to go ahead, as long as there's, that ability to save whatever intended time as listed here. It's always going to have a priority over a selected preferred route. Now, though I haven't tried it yet, but if I completely remove this online routing, I would infer that whatever preferred route of the available options you have at the beginning of the trip will automatically be saved. And here is another move here, moving from one lane to another lane, which FSD may deem to be a bit of a time-saving move. It wasn't doing that so much for me in prior attempts, but just wanted to point that out. So again, there's the whole navigation items. Still, some of the issues that folks have as far as, why is it taking me down this route that it's never made available before, that I've never been accustomed to taking? Again, we've talked about people being creatures of habit, right? Once that norm, there we go. Okay, I was just about to cancel out that lane change, but it managed to find a way to get out of the lane that it was in and go on to the next lane to save a little bit of time there. But like I was saying, people are creatures of habit, and once folks get deviated from their norm, they're going to notice, right? And we've quickly noticed, for those of us who have experienced the navigations just being a little off, discernible, right? Discernible difference from what we were accustomed to, the routes that we've been taking with FSD. So that's a real thing. But again, programming, I guess, has been updated in the back end, and sure enough, it's going to save you whatever intended, whatever indicated time. Like in my case, like I mentioned here, under the navigation settings, I always had it to save me an additional 10 minutes. And true to that, it was holding on to it and giving it priority over my preferred route. So that's one huge thing that I have noticed with FSD 14s, version 14s in general, right? Now that I know that, and I'll keep trying like the 1 minute option, or just removing that online routing altogether. And if that's the case, if that solves it, it's just a simple, flip of the switch that I can live with. And I mean, I get it. I get why it's being done. Programming is programming, right? Okay, so there's that part of it. So far in this drive, probably a little, let's see here, about an 11-minute drive, right? Current drive, 12-minute drive. It's been operating pretty good. Efficiency has never been better. I've consistently get a little over 4 kilowatts per mile, and it's just doing pretty good. Overall, my odometer is at 15,000, just crossed that 15,000 mile mark. 2025 Model Y hardware 4 are lifetime trips here that we're showing an average of 276. So just under that 4 kilowatts per mile mark, but it's gotten better and better as the time has gone on. Another item that I want to show y'all here as far as the autopilot settings, and you can see here 139 total miles. Of those 139 total miles, 125.5 miles have been on FSD. So I mean, it's there. 90% of the time that I've been driving with FSD, as opposed to me actually taking the wheel and driving. So that's a nice feature here. 14.2 is where that feature came to be. Hopefully they add, for us nerds that like those stats, like those analytics, add a little bit more info pertaining to FSD or just numbers in general, right? I haven't seen the energy app updated in quite a while. They have some really good info, don't get me wrong, but it would be nice just to get a bit more information for those of us who really dig efficiency numbers, dig getting the most out of our battery life, out of our current state of charge. 4 to 5 seconds, it'll prompt me if not sooner, but we can try those use cases in a little bit. You'll notice the wipers went off right now. One thing that I've noticed, I don't know, 14.2.1, the ability for the windshield to be automatically cleaned, it doesn't seem to be as sensitive as 14.2. I really found that to be a nice trick. It knew exactly when visibility was lacking, so without fail, and give it a nice cleaning, right? And that camera double swipe cleaning is what I'm referring to. But 14.2.1, I've taken a few drives and I have yet to have that happen. Maybe I just have the windshield clean. I see a few streaks right now, so I'm just being hyper aware of what I'm seeing, or maybe hypercritical, I should say. But I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it really do what 14.2 had been doing, right? Cleaning it, not frequently, but cleaning it. Again, the phantom wipes. Here we're going to come across an interesting situation. We have a lot of vehicles come out of this particular section, right, just to avoid some of the traffic on the main road, being stuck in the main road. But everybody's letting folks in, right? Oh my word, it actually did that. Again, it was allowing one vehicle to get into the main road here. Other vehicles were doing so, and FSD decided to do that. Let's see if it does that right here, right now again, much like that other situation. And sure enough, it looks like it's following the the unspoken rules of the road. So good job, FSD. Our screen is noticing that it's no longer nighttime. We made it past that yellow light. No issues. We have to the left of us a Cybertruck and a Model X. A lot more Teslas on the road. A lot more Teslas. That's going to be an interesting thing if we certainly start seeing more adaptability. That's a great thing, right? That's exactly what we want as far as sustainable energy. Trying to make a little more difference for the environment, regardless of whatever political beliefs are on the company and the folks who run it, right? The vehicles themselves, the technology, the forward thinking, the innovation. I mean, that's where it's at. Now Model S behind the Cybertruck that I did not notice. So, well, already seen 3 Teslas this morning, aside from my own, of course. Where is that rain? I'm just not seeing it. Visibility, I feel like it's pretty good right now, and I'm not seeing any drops of rain. But I am seeing the windshield wipers come on and come off. I feel as if the standard mode has been dialed back a bit. I feel like all the profiles, all the profiles have. Sloth mode just kept the speed, never went over the speed limit, right? A chill mode was that 16-year-old just getting a driver's permit, driving for the first time, bit of indecisiveness. Standard mode was just that seasoned veteran, right? Confident, just a good driver overall. No issues, no concerns, keeping up with traffic, not going below the speed limit, not impeding traffic, not going, too fast over the speed limit, maybe a good, 4 to 5 miles over the posted speed limit as long as traffic was flowing appropriately. Hurry mode, a good 5-10 miles over the speed limit. Didn't use it too much in the past, didn't feel like I had to. In standard mode, did everything that I needed to with confidence. And now Mad Max is just that incredibly confident, sometimes cocky driver who had no hesitation whatsoever, choosing to go whatever lane it deemed a quicker route to a fault, right? Sometimes it, got in and out of lanes, may not have been the most appropriate route, appropriate move, but it took it. It was confident. It had conviction, or has conviction. But yeah, at least this is 14.2, but 14.2.1 just a tad bit different. And again, the speed profiles, they all seem to be a little bit dialed back. Speaking of speed profiles, before we get onto the highway, and while I can, let's see, we'll go to autopilot settings here. The mode, or the section that I'm looking at right here, is offset, right? I have speed limit set to relative, and then I have an offset of 12 miles an hour at this present time. In all honesty, I was doing this because standard mode yesterday on a Sunday was timid. I found if the speed limit was 30 miles an hour like it is right now, it was consistently going 5 miles under that speed limit. It was never hitting that speed limit, almost never going over. I found that to be the case, now that I'm thinking about it, residential areas, right? Consistently going under the speed limit, even on the roads, that I definitely did catch. I don't feel it was, going with the flow of traffic, like it had been accustomed to, right? It never consistently ramped up over the speed limit. Definitely never hit that 5 mile an hour buffer over. So because my standard mode was lacking what I felt, a sense of safety, and when you're driving out and about, if you're not going with the flow of traffic, you may be impeding traffic. You may actually be taking part in causing an unsafe situation, in my personal opinion, right? So I feel that there's a need to keep with traffic. Sometimes that means, a few miles over a 45, right? Going over 48, maybe 50 miles, safety aspect. That 5 mile an hour, unwritten rules of the road, speed limit, right? 5 mile buffer. But I found it very difficult in standard mode for it to be confident as I had accustomed. standard mode being, I had found it very difficult, just safety aspect, to work the way that again, creature of habit, right? I'm a human being just like everybody else, creature of habit, accustomed to having it operate in a certain manner. And right here, this is going to be an interesting situation. It did fantastic right there. There was very little to no room in the turning lane, definitely over that 100 miles or 100 feet distance that most turning lanes are, right? Bordering to the point where we wouldn't have any space and we may have been impeding traffic behind us. But nope, it found that little space there and managed to get in without any kind of issues. But back to what I was saying, right? The speed profiles are dialed back. The only one that I can say is incredibly confident that I used over the predominantly more than others with 14.2.1 is Mad Max. Mad Max, I didn't feel like I had to worry if I felt I was going too fast in certain locations, right? I just dialed it back to hurry. I didn't hardly on those situations where I wanted to feel confident, didn't want to have any issues. I was careful about scaling it back to standard because I didn't want to put myself in a situation where I felt safety was being impaired. So right now, standard mode, the offset 12 mile an hour, that didn't make a difference. Whenever I attempted to mess around with this, I put 10 miles an hour. I was used to having like a 10 to 15 mile, 10 to 15% offset at any particular speed. And to me, that it felt like it responded whenever I moved that. Again, no longer an option here, but the offset for miles an hour is available. But again, whenever I selected it, doesn't matter what I did with it, how fast, whether I left it alone, nothing made any kind of a difference there. While in standard mode, it again consistently stayed a few miles under the speed limit, a bit timid, definitely timid in getting up to speed. So we are approaching a highway intersection here. Again, we're in standard mode. We're going to leave it in standard mode for a bit before we switch it over to Mad Max. Going to get a little bit of highway driving under our belt. And here is the intersection, or the on-ramp, I should say, for the highway here. Got about 34 more minutes to go. Let's see if we're able to make up some time and get there right at 8 o'clock in the morning. This is as real case as it gets. No issues so far. We're able to get up to the posted 65 mile an hour speed with relative ease. Going with the flow of traffic right now. There's not too much of an opportunity for folks to be going any higher than posted speed limits for the most part, at least this stretch that I'm heading into. Oh, one thing I had an opportunity to check out, like my front end. I don't think there was any kind of major damage, but yesterday while running a few errands with my wife and my son, on the way back, I believe it was a Toyota Tundra with a flatbed carrying a bunch of branches that weren't appropriately tied down, decided to cut me off to get onto the highway and was in front of me. And the minute that vehicle got in front of me, again, I didn't want to disengage, and I should have just learned from bearded Tesla guy. I didn't want to disengage to see what it would do. And sure enough, right, I was thinking to myself, please get out of this situation. Please get out of this lane. Don't you clearly see that there is a flatbed in front of us that isn't with branches, that isn't tied down appropriately. It had like a tarp over it that was flapping in the wind and not even getting up to highway speeds. By not getting up to highway speeds, I mean going conservatively maybe a good 30 miles an hour with the branches and the tarp that was poorly placed on the flatbed, flapping in the wind. And I kept telling myself and out loud to the vehicle, please get out of the lane. Don't you see what I see? It did not. Sure enough, there was a branch that fell off of the flatbed and hit the front end. I don't think it was a very large, definitely not a very large, branch. But hit the front end, and then we ran over it. At no point did FSD attempt to, and again, there might not have been enough room, but at no point did it attempt to avoid the branch that was coming in our direction. But having said that, I will mention the profile that we were in was Mad Max. So Mad Max tends to follow a bit closer. Mad Max tends to ramp up to posted speed limit quicker. So in that situation, or for that matter, any given situations where you have Mad Max engaged and you're trying, you come across a situation where you're trying to avoid something on the road, there will be less time to give the system the ability to react to what is going on. So take that for whatever it's worth. At least in one real world situation, I found Mad Max possibly a safety issue in avoidance, in avoiding or attempting to, whenever a situation that you may have to avoid quickly, have to veer off to the left, right, or what have you. That may not be a good idea to have Mad Max engaged, so beware of that. And again, I feel so far, at least version 14s have done a pretty, compared to what didn't exist in the past, they've done a really decent job of avoiding situations, things that have come up, roadkill that I've had here in a couple of videos, different things that have come up against traffic. We've had some pallets of grass, squares, 12 by 12s, right? I don't know if they're 12 by 12s, maybe 14 by 14, 16 by 16, that have been on the road and done an amazing job of avoiding going left, right, going off of the path to purposely avoid it, not running it over, things like that. Anytime it felt like there was something on the road, it did a good job. But again, just that ability, like any human being, right? If you naturally take away precious seconds, milliseconds for response time, it's not going to avoid it, much like we wouldn't be able to avoid it if we didn't have the appropriate reaction, appropriate time to react appropriately. Too many appropriatelys there, but nonetheless, they've been said. So far so good on this drive. Another stretch of this highway that has traffic. But on the bright side, one thing that I'm noticing right now, opposed to standard mode on any version 14s prior to 14.2, this has done a great job. You'll notice that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lanes, right? Anytime that I've attempted to get onto the highway while using FSD prior to 14.14 in general, it always camped out on standard mode, camped out on the 2 right lanes, far right lanes, maybe causing me a little bit of time. And you'll see traffic flowing in general a bit quicker on the faster lanes. They call them fast lanes for a reason. But a lot of bottlenecking goes on here in this particular stretch for about 2 miles. There's a lot of on-ramps, a lot of neighborhoods where people choose to use these on-ramps So generally it's going to go a lot slower on the look. It says here rerouting to save 1 minute. Tap to cancel. Oh wow, it actually gives you the ability to cancel. I'm leaving that alone. I see where it gave me that extra minute over here. Interesting. Okay. I see where it's going to get off. Alright, so again, going down a road less traveled in prior commutes. But guess what? That 1 minute, I was going to say it saved me from going in late. It had 7:59 up until it updated and gave me an 8 o'clock arrival time. I'm going to play around a little bit more with the saving time, that feature that we covered there under navigation, online routing, finding optimal route based on traffic conditions, reroute to save 1 minute. I feel it's a little more, I feel it's hypersensitive with these release versions. Maybe in the past they didn't do too well of a job of actually saving whatever indicated time, and I'm seeing that relevant in drives on version 14 unintended, right, to the point where I've noticed things that have been off navigation wise. But maybe it could be a good thing. Again, just messing around. I'll mess around at other drives with rerouting a couple of minutes. Not too drastic. Again, really starting to open up. Posted speed limit is 65. It did no attempt to get out of the lane that we were in. That white SUV was kind of going a little slow, and understandably so, because it wanted to get over a few lanes, but definitely just prevented me from going at a faster rate. And FSD didn't do anything. It just stayed here. The standard mode did nothing. It just stayed in the given lane. I've noticed on highways, and this is definitely something that is true right now, if you'll notice, yeah, we're not in the far right lanes. We're not in the slow lanes per se, but we are in the second to last lane on the left, and it counts. Like chill mode ended up camping out on the right lane, and hurry mode ended up camping on the far left lane. Standard mode never camped in the past. It did what it needed to get out of like a slower situation in traffic, went into the fast lane if it needed to, and then didn't hesitate to get back into the lane that it was at, but was decisive enough to make moves. Here, standard mode, what I've been seeing and what you are seeing, it is camping in the second to fastest lane and just sticking here, even though certain situations aren't situations where it's the best case to do so. It's not acting, it's not being decisive, it's choosing not to do anything but stay in the current lane. I need my standard mode to come back. The standard mode I was accustomed to. The standard mode that gave me that false sense of security, confidence, and knowing, again, false sense of security that, hey, you know what, I'm just, going right down the middle, even Steven. I'm not going too slow. I'm not breaking any kind of traffic laws as far as like going too fast by choosing a different mode. I am just following the laws at an optimal level. That's me. That's pure me right there. Those are actual thoughts that I've had while in standard mode. But standard mode is just now like, oof. It gives me a little hesitation. Am I as safe as I should be while in an autonomous situation, right? I don't know. To an extent, I feel that hurry might be the new standard, right? But still, I've noticed a few flaws in hurry mode, and I'm not trying to be overly negative. It's just, and I'm pretty positive it's coming across that way for folks that have had the benefit of having FSD for 5-6 years, however long it's been, and even those of us who've had it maybe even like a year, like me, right? Pretty much like at a year. It's come a long way. Version 13s, I think I got the tail end of version 12. My gosh, like FSD is a thing of beauty, right? It's a marvel. What it does, reaction time, decisions that it makes, I will say it. I've said it in the past and I will say it again. It drives better than me. I'm a bad driver. I'm an aggressive driver. I do things that I shouldn't do. Even when my family is in the car, and especially when my family is not in the car. And FSD, it's just safety, right? The sensibility, it's amazing. And I could see so many positives as far as like folks who have disabilities, folks that are getting to an age where they may not be able to confidently be out on the road, great use case for that type of demographic, right? Getting in a vehicle, selecting the directions, the destination you wish to go, and vehicle taking you, right? Having that sense of, and it's odd, right? We're replacing one sense of autonomy to sustain another sense of autonomy, right? And in reality, independence. But I could see so many different things. This is amazing. Anybody who has a Tesla, anybody who has friends, family, and has not experienced this, I would highly recommend, right, taking them on a test drive. A lot of people don't know fully well. They know about it. They hear a lot of bad things out in the press, but in reality, they don't know the full capabilities of what this technology can do and how it can drastically improve folks' life, the safety, right? There's numbers out there that Tesla has recently released, right? With FSD, accident rates, things of that sort, right? Yeah, those are numbers. Those are significant. And, I hope they're not skewing numbers. I hope they're being absolutely transparent. Having any sort of release opposed to really no release of data, of information is a start. That transparency is key. But just in my case, right? My driving in comparison to the autonomy, the current level of autonomy that we have with FSD, there's no comparison, right? This drives better. This keeps my family safer, as long as I am not complacent, as long as I stay alert. I think I'm in a far better situation, safety-wise. So I hope there's adaptability. If you have a Tesla, friends, family, take them out on a test drive, right? Especially this month. All hardware for folks at any of the levels, right? Sexy and Model S, Model 3, Model X, Model Y, and yes, the Cybertruck have been given a complimentary FSD trial through the end of the holidays into the beginning of the year. So don't show off, but just show folks what this technology can be and how it can improve life, and not just safety wise, right? A lot of different ways. And you'll notice I haven't had any disengagement, no interventions here so far, and we have about an 11-minute drive. That 1-minute routing supposed to be saving me 7:58 right now. It's moving over. I was looking at that 1.7 miles until the exit, wondering when it was going to make its move, and it sure did right there. One thing that I have noted in the past of standard that in general I've loved standard mode, right? One area where I've not liked standard mode, where I would have gotten into, and most folks I would like to believe gotten into the when approaching an exit, right, would have gotten into the far right or closer lane to the exit a lot quicker than 1 mile. I found that prior iterations, FSD 14.2 and below have done. They've stayed in the lane, not the furthest lane, not the lane where it's supposed to be exiting, up until almost half a mile, and then decided to make its move, which I don't feel is enough time. It's managed to squeeze its way for the most part, but I have had times where it's completely missed it because it wasn't able to get over. Right now, we're about half a mile, and this is doing exactly what I had talked about, right? Waiting about half a mile and then deciding to make its move to the furthest right lane or closest lane to the exit. And here we are. It sped up a bit because there was a RAV4 that was trying to take the same exit, or is taking the same exit that we were pretty much side by side with up until the last moment. And here we go.
Now take the Wetmore Road ramp on the left.
And then we have a vehicle here that is trying to get in. Didn't see us.
In 500 feet,
did a good job of slowing down.
Now turn left onto Wetmore Road.
Keeping us safe. We're at a 4-way stop sign. Well, certainly doesn't get more real than that in our daily commute. "45 miles an hour. Good job of getting up to that speed. I think it had a lot to do with that Ford Ranger that was by our side. We decided to speed up to avoid this other truck. Don't know what it's carrying. 49, going 4 miles over. Again, I have it at a 12 mile an hour offset additional. But again, I don't feel it does much of anything right now. This is what we've been accustomed to seeing with standard mode. A good 4 to 5 miles an hour over. I also have felt in standard mode, whenever you had a vehicle approach you from behind and get rather close, right, that it moved over. There we go. It's doing that, and it took quite a while. I've had situations in the past few days where it chose not to move over. It just camped in that lane, where the sensible thing would have been to get out of the lane that the faster traffic behind you was heading, right? This is what I'm used to, right? Just a lot sooner. Yesterday and the day before on the weekend, it didn't do what standard mode had been accustomed to doing, or reacting in general, reacting at all. It didn't do that. Today it did, but it took quite a bit of time, more than I was comfortable with. I was feeling a little bit like pressured, like, okay, like, you know, this truck, this Dodge Ram here, this red Dodge Ram coming up from behind us is getting really close, and I feel like it's getting pretty frustrated because I'm going a little slow. Either go faster or get out of its way. I wanted it to get out of its way, and it took a little too much time for my liking. It did it, but it took longer than I was accustomed to. And that's where I talk about the safety aspect, right? Because then you have technically indecisiveness, right? Unintended indecisiveness that could impact safety, not just for oneself, but, you know, for those around us. gonna go ahead and we're gonna have about 6 minutes left in the drive. If you're still with me, thanks as always. I appreciate any kind of support. Please like and subscribe. This channel would mean quite a bit. I haven't been hitting it out of the ballpark. I'm trying to get it right. For anybody who has any kind of advice on equipment on this, what your preferred editing software is. I'm most certainly new to this. I'm trying to get started. Any kind of helpful advice would be most certainly appreciated. Any level of support, leave your comments on your experiences with 14.2.1. Not just the amazing things, the things that they've done well, but keeping it absolutely real, right? All the good, the bad, the ugly. Please leave some comments, and I'll make sure to reply back, and we'll go ahead and trade stories. But again, approaching the end of our drive, we're going to get back onto a stretch of the highway for a short period of time. So far in this drive to work, pretty good. I'm also going to go ahead and try this on our commute back. Home, see how that does. While I have it, I'm able to only commute to work once a week. I work at home 4 other days during the week. Might as well get some real-time info, real-time data, and some content here. Okay, so we're still at a yellow light, completely clear traffic. Didn't hesitate much, really hesitate at all to make that left. Getting back on, I wonder what the posted speed limit will be on here. From the looks of it, we have clear traffic, 60 miles, 30. Let's see how quickly it ramps up. We have a truck coming up from behind, doing an okay job, right? Better than your normal ICE vehicle to get up to speed. But yeah, and we're going to stay in this lane. There's no need for us to go into another lane because this is going to be our exit in half a mile. So 61. I would, here on the highway, I would appreciate FSD standard mode to go that 4 or 5 mile an hour is faster than the posted speed limit. Right now we're dropping down, and then maybe we're dropping down in speed because we're going to be exiting, right? And then we see a exit speed of 25 miles an hour from the highway. It's going to have us go into the left lane because we need to make a left at the upcoming light at this intersection. Doing a smooth enough job of slowing down, getting into the lane that we're supposed to. No real issues, no kind of concerns here.
Bear right onto Nico Parent Boulevard.
And then we have this Dodge Ram, this red Dodge Ram that we're next to. It's got a vanity plate also. I think it says Devil DG1. Maybe it's Devil Dog 1. I don't know. That's what the intended messaging on its vanity plates is. So we've got what? We've got about half a mile to our destination. 1 minute drive. Let's go ahead and put it on Mad Max. Oh, the phantom wipes were about to come on, and then they didn't. Or maybe they did and I just didn't catch it. Let's see if we'll go faster than the Devil Dog here. Nope, we're not. We're going to yield to the Devil Dog in Mad Max.
Now bear right
Get
onto
into
Nico
our
Parent
right
Boulevard.
lane. This is what I would do right here. You see Devil Dog went into the left lane so you could pass up these vehicles here. And that's a move to make,
In
but
1,000 feet,
not when you're so
turn right
close
onto
to
Russell
your
Street, then turn
your
right.
next turn. And even in Mad Max, it chose not to do that. It saw it. It had enough room to go into the left lane, and once the green light, accelerate. But I wouldn't have done that. Let's see where this vehicle is turning. It's going to turn just a little shy, a little short. Yeah, of our turn. It stayed here where
Now turn right onto Russell Street.
where it was probably the safest possible way, given that we were going to be turning. And you see, here we go again. Those phantom wipes. Okay.
Now turn right.
We got standard, we got parking lot. Let's see where it decides to park us.
Now you have arrived at your destination.
Not where I would have. I'm gonna go ahead and take that off there. I want to get a little bit closer to the employee parking lot. Alrighty, so I'm gonna cut it off there. Appreciate the views. Tell me what you think. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Alright, and we're back. I had to pull over to this Mexican restaurant parking lot to get myself set up. I am, in fact, driving home from work. But again, I'm not. I don't work here at this restaurant. I just want to make that abundantly clear. Just had to set up over here, but I wanted to go ahead and pick up on my afternoon evening commute. It is 5:17 p.m. on this Monday cloudy morning. I wonder if I'm gonna get the. Okay, so this guy ended up letting me through. I really appreciated that. I will tell you that FSD did not pick up on that. I don't think there was any kind of gestures that were visible waving me in, nor did I see a light being flashed. Also, another unwritten rule of the road where people just, say, "Hey, go right ahead. You can go in front of me. I'll let you through." Didn't get any of those, at least none that I was able to see. Vehicle obviously didn't see, so I had to step on the accelerator just a tad bit there. Guess a slight intervention for the given circumstance, but no disengagement. And the commute is still young. I will say this, although I didn't record my lunch outing and my quick outing to get a drink in the afternoon, FSD 14.2.1 actually did a lot better. I feel that it does rather well during these types of situations. Yesterday, the weekend, obviously, Saturday and Sunday, when I went out, it was a bit timid. There wasn't that much traffic out. It'd be a little bit difficult for FSD to see what the flow of traffic was, normal flow of traffic. In those kinds of situations, the end user, the driver, determines what kind of traffic or what kind of speed they want to achieve at any given time. And I feel because it was lacking other vehicles or as much traffic on the road compared to today, that it was just timid, at least on standard mode, very timid as far as speed limit. Right here, the posted speed limit, it indicates 55 miles an hour. It is not 55 miles an hour. It hasn't come across. Well, actually, that proves me wrong right there. It says end of work zone, 55 miles an hour. I guess I missed it. The vehicle did pick it up, the 55 mile an hour construction zone, but it was going 10 over. We're still in standard mode. I actually have to stop off at another one of my offices to drop off some items before I proceed home. But again, I just wanted to get in this part of it, and you'll be able to tell for a good portion of this drive. It's going to be bumper to bumper right there. 17-mile drive. It's going to take us, from the looks of it, 30 minutes. I'm getting my prompt here that says, please pay attention to the road. Getting a text message from my wife. Here's another thing. Now that I ended up getting that prompt, a recognition in terms of being prompted to pay attention to the road, and once I, for a split second, I'll look straight ahead and seemingly pay attention to the road, it removes that little nag. It doesn't take quite much effort in comparison to prior versions for that to go away. And I've been on my phone, although I didn't film that part. I was on my phone basically the minute I ended up getting into the vehicle, and I engage FSD, and it didn't really prompt me. I might have gotten one kind of please pay attention to the road, but no indication of a handheld device in my hand, any cell phone in my hand, anything like that. So that's definitely a plus. And again, I think I mentioned in the morning commute, probably a good 20 to 25 seconds before any kind of prompts have been seen over the weekend whenever I've tested out FSD. So again, this is not my first impression take. I decided to take a different approach. I decided to go ahead on my own, off camera, go on a few rides over the weekend with FSD 14.2.1, see what it does, get my thoughts on it, and then film this daily commute drive here to see what the real world experiences are like for FSD, how it actually does on a, 5 o'clock, after 5 o'clock, before 8 a.m. Commute to and from work. I'll do my best to edit this video so you don't have just, whether it's dead air or just being in traffic, bumper to bumper traffic. And again, speaking about I spoke about this earlier during the day. During our morning commute, this guy doesn't want this Scion. It's totally indecisive on whether or not it was going to get into the lane. You got to commit. Once you see the gap, seize the gap. Once you see the gap, seize the gap. So anyway, I spoke about this earlier, the efficiency. It's been off the charts right now since the last charge. And again, that's overall. Went to lunch, ended up driving over here, and so far this commute that is about 6 minutes in duration, we have 227 watts per mile efficiency, and again, definitely over that 4 kilowatts per mile. Doing pretty good. I'm gonna go in and check the autopilot. You'll notice my percentage this morning was at 90%, and now it's got bumped up to 91% as far as usage. So 91% of the time I am on FSD and loving every minute of it. We're going 46 on a 55, and that's okay. We don't have any room to really engage the throttle here to go full send. And even then, on standard mode, it's not going to go full send. Daylight savings time. This is absolutely amazing. Daylight savings time said nobody in the history of ever. Well, maybe farmers at some point, but I'm hard pressed to believe that farmers like this at this point in this day and age. Anywho, see those lights coming on. Hopefully the visibility stays relatively okay. Wondering whether or not we'll have other vehicles try to get in front of me. FSD, especially this version, 14.2.1, I gotta say it again. This version does a really good job of keeping its distance in this bumper-to-bumper rush hour commute. good that it keeps its distance for safety purposes, but also bad in a sense because it presents way too many opportunities for other vehicles that aren't as patient as we are, as FSD is, and try to cut in the last possible moment. So it takes away from the reaction time in the event we're going at a steady pace and no longer has at least one car length and distance. Could potentially present issues, safety issues there, but we'll keep it going.
Keep left to stay on Interstate 410 West.
And trust me, nothing interesting is going to happen with, I can't say that, because then lo and behold, I say nothing interesting will happen, and then something unwanted, entirely unwanted, but yet still interesting occurs on the road, and then we're trying to avoid that. Hey, look, we have a Honda Prelude. From the things that I've read, those Honda Prelude EVs, which are essentially just a Chevy, same underpinnings as any kind of GM vehicles, whether it's Chevy or Cadillac for that matter, have sold like hotcakes. I mean, it's a nice looking vehicle. As far as battery efficiency, I mean, it could be a whole heck of a lot better. Charging rate, charging curve, again, a whole heck of a lot better. But for a first time adapter, EV adapter, that thing's pretty nice. But do you have FSD, my good man? No. I'm gonna say it at the very beginning, right, and through the beginnings of my commute this morning. I already had a preconceived notion. I tried my best to be objective, and not be subjective, based on my weekend drive with FSD 14.2.1, especially in standard mode. It was kind of down in the dumps about what standard mode had turned into. But again, in this use case, the specific situation scenario here, morning, evening commute, it's handled itself quite well, doing everything appropriately, short of a truck carrying branches and it falling off of the back of the truck bed, I should say. I don't think I'm fingers crossed. Hopefully we won't have any issues here, and definitely hoping for no disengagements. There we go. Coming full circle, starting off in dark mode, and then sunrise going into daytime mode, and bam, back into nighttime dark mode. It's really easy on the eyes, the dark mode. But I still would not want to have dark mode during the daytime. It would be rather distracting. I know a lot of phone users, iPhone, Android, users prefer, or even Windows users prefer that dark theme for various reasons. But can't do it, especially here in this vehicle during the daytime. I need it bright as it can possibly be during the daytime.
Now keep left to stay on Interstate 410 West.
And one thing you're noticing here, FSD will not. This is a 4 to 5 lane highway. It will stay camped on standard mode. I'm discovering right now, as we're speaking, and during this morning's commute, that it's going to camp out on the second to last, what you would say, fast lane. Most places, the far left lane is the fast lane. So the second to last, second fastest lane is where it camps out. It decides to be and relatively steadfast in staying here, not wanting to move anywhere else, regardless of what's going on around it, or the potential perceived to the end user, right? Flow of traffic, less congested traffic in other lanes. As you're seeing, I can visibly see vehicles are passing me by on the far right lane, or the two right lanes here next to me. But FSD is just staying put. I guess this is good enough for it, or this is the happy medium. Got a nice little Lexus RC 350. Oh, excuse the yawning. Guess it's a good thing. What does it say here? Okay, that bumper sticker right there. If you can read it, you've read it, or you can read it. If you can't, I'm not going to repeat it. Got a nice little Chevy here that decided to get into that lane. Now it's putting its blinker to want to get into my lane. FSD, at least now, isn't having it. Staying clear of that potential threat. Looking behind me to see whether or not it's getting into the lane, or it got into the lane. And nope, stayed put. San Antonio, Texas. For those of you who live here, you know far too well, and commute daily. Yeah, I definitely don't envy you. I don't commute daily, especially in this traffic. I have two different offices in town here. The second office that I'm going to, it's far closer to my home, but yet on a normal day, still about a good 30 to 40 minutes away traffic-wise. Probably a good 15 miles away, 10, 15 miles away from my home. But again, it still takes me that much time with traffic, morning and evening commute. But here is another monster altogether. Got another Model Y over there. Second to last, furthest right, a lane. Quicksilver, legacy model. Those Quicksilver vehicles, they look really nice. Got a little Mustang here. Maybe that's that Corolla with that resonance, however you say it, muffler. Those are annoying. Yeah, what it could have done here is got into the fast lane. It's starting to open up just a tad bit. It'll open up for a brief moment, and then again we'll be in bumper to bumper, then open up, and then bumper to bumper, and after that, for the most part, we should be clear and seeing what this bad boy, this puppy will do. I'm going to attempt making it on time to that other work site. Hopefully the janitorial folks are still there. They closed up shop at the end of the day, and finally it got out of that lane and decided to make a move. Would have done it far earlier, but hey, I guess it's using some map data, some online data also, to make a decision whether or not it's going to switch lanes or not. And the only reason I'm even bringing that up, it's because of the navigation right here, where you see orange and you see blue. It seemed as if though it found a spot where traffic was flowing freely and decided to take a step to get out of the lane that it was in, a slower lane. In reality, there's really no point. You'll save milliseconds, if that. I feel. Not literally, seemingly. The last thing you want to be doing is going a little too fast and then having to abruptly slow down, stop, hit the brakes. It keeps a good distance. Again, use case. This is specific scenarios, a specific situation. I'm doing great. I have no complaints so far. There's a Party City. Is that Party City actually open, or is it just one of those party cities that was open at one point and now closed due to foreclosure? I'm trying to take a peek into it. Can't quite tell. I'm curious. Gotta fire up the Google. I know we had a Party City by my house and it got shut down, went out of business. But yeah. Somebody put it in the comments. Is Party City still open nationwide, or have all locations forever closed? Unless they resurrect themselves like Toys R Us, which I'm really, really hoping that Toys R Us catches on with the youth, this generation's youth. My son. There was something about going to Toys R Us when you were a kid. Something fun. Then we grew up and said we were going to be going to Toys R Us even when we were quote unquote, and I'll bring out the air quotes, adults. Just never happened. I guess life, too busy to visit Toys R Us. Anywho, continue on our commute. It's a Chevy truck making a move, getting into our lane. See what it does, because there's going to be an additional lane that'll open up here on the left-hand side, and traffic magically just starts flowing. It never fails, it just starts flowing. I wonder whether or not it'll stay in this lane or whether it'll choose to pick up speed and get into the fast lane. It's not doing that. Oh, we meet again, Toyota Corolla, with the black duct tape or electrical tape holding together the trunk. It wants to get home, and it wants to get home yesterday. Oddly enough, there's another vehicle with, now that for sure is duct tape holding up its window, and it looked like they're from Florida. Floridians here. once Floridians, now Texans, who choose not to update their license plates. I have some valid reasons. We're not even going to get into that. I'm just going down these rabbit holes because this commute is pretty great. FSD, it's doing its job, doing it well, not winning any races by any stretch of the imagination. We're going 70 on a 65 mile an hour zone. Flow of traffic seems to be a lot quicker than what we're running right now. A whole lot of cars in front of me that are going faster, and this one here too. This other Corolla that just passed me by going faster than 70 miles an hour. But again, choosing to stay within that speed limit. And if you recall from earlier, I have my offset set at 12 miles an hour. I'm going to increase it. Let's go 16. So again, you're seeing it right there, 16 miles an hour. Swiping it down, paying attention because I got a prompt right there. 6 to 7 Mississippis. Let's see, does it make any bit of difference? My offset. There's plenty of room in front of me to go a little faster. I'm still stuck at 70 miles an hour. Oh, 69. Spoke too soon. I have a lot of people behind me that are just passing me up and getting just a tad bit frustrated when they're behind me. And camped out in the second two furthest from left lane. What are we going to call that? We're going to call it just that? Or are we going to call this lane second to fastest lane? I don't know. I'm a little too tired to think about these things. Let's put it on the poll. What do you prefer? The second to last lane from the left, or second fastest lane? We'll be exiting in about 2 miles. Let's see how quickly it moves over, or rather how last minute it decides to scooch on over to take that exit. We pray to gosh that it will not miss this exit. But if it does, at least it's content, right? Here we go, 1.5 miles. What I said before, it has a knack. Half a mile or less. At that point, deciding to make moves to get to the exit lane, intended exit lane. 1.2 miles.
In 1 mile, take exit 6.
An interesting case study right here.
San Antonio.
1.1 mile. Oof, all right. It's making its move. Let's see if it goes all the way. Oh, ho, ho, proving me wrong right at the 1 mile mark. Had no traffic to the right of it, no traffic behind. And wow, lo and behold, well before half a mile distance, it decided to make its move and be as cautious as possible to make sure it's not going to miss its exit. Alrighty, we got a lane here that merges. Got another vehicle behind me, a truck. Alright, for a minute there I thought it was going to try to pass me up. Did not. Try to squeeze in, but did not. We're thankful for that. Three things at the end of the day that you are thankful for. Let's put that on the list.
Now take
Thankful
exit
for
6
that
south.
truck on exit 6B not hitting the side of my vehicle and choosing to allow me to go without any kind of issues. That's one item on the list that I'm thankful for. Let's see what it does here, how quickly it moves over. No problem with that. Could have gotten into that lane a lot sooner, but I did the right thing right here too. Just held off because it was a vehicle coming from that gas station. Decided, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and play it cautious. Wait, pass up that vehicle, that potential safety hazard, and then get into the lane.
In 1,000 feet,
We
turn
got
right
our
onto Bertetti Drive.
we got our turn coming up. Just past this gas station, you'll see. Let's see if it makes the right turn, or
Now
if it
turn
takes
right
the
onto
right
Bertetti
straight.
Drive.
I feel like it ended up putting its blinker just a little too early, but everybody held. I didn't want anybody to think, especially there, that we're exiting the gas station, to think that I was turning into that gas station. But no issues. What I would prefer to do here, I'd make a left instead of going straight. But it'll do what it chooses to do. Got a vehicle coming in over here, another truck parked off to the side of the road. Being cautious, doing a good job, going slowly. 30 miles is the posted speed limit. We're going 20, 21. As long as we're cautious, as long as we're safe, that's all that matters. This thing is going to follow the law as long as it's in standard mode, sloth, or to an extent also chill mode. I haven't tried chill mode in a while. I wonder if they'll do away with that at some point. I feel like having, 4, 5 speed profiles. We have sloth, we have chill, we have standard, we have hurry, and then we have Mad Max. I feel there are one too many speed profiles. But I guess whenever you take away the ability for folks to set a speed limit, adding more options, that takes care of that problem. To an extent. People will complain. They don't like it, they don't like it. Alrighty. It's going to come to a full stop. Not a rolling stop, not a California
In 500 feet,
row
right.
California stop there. Stop signs. And we're approaching the office.
Now turn right.
And we are back. What I'm going to do right now, under navigation, reroute to save 10 minutes. Because you see there's plenty of congestion here. I'm going to go ahead and, here's the intended route. Now, too well, going down highway, slight section here to get off the highway just to get back on it. I'm going to continue, see if there's any kind of like deviation in that.
In 500 feet, turn right onto Horrell Street.
Texting. There you go. There's an audio prompt. I wouldn't go here. Let's see if somebody, by chance, lets me in. I especially
Now turn right
wouldn't want to go
Highway 90.
down this road at night. I'm an FSD. I doubt FSD will do an okay job on its own without any kind of intervention from me of getting into the lane if somebody waves me in. I don't think that the field of vision on this road it's that good. And then we have some truck that randomly decided just to come over here and cut people off. That's so incredibly ridiculous. All right, so we were let in. FSD did its job. Hey, it avoided that truck who had no room to go anywhere else. Definitely decided, hey, I'm going to go ahead and cut everybody off because I'm incredibly more important right there. Did a great job of staying back and doing nothing until it saw an opening. And the slightest of opening that it saw, it got into that lane. All right, there's congestion on the roads, and then there's this Save me some time. Save me 10 minutes. Save me 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, up to 10 minutes. And I will be very, very happy. I doubt it'll do so. It's going to choose not to get on the highway. I can already somehow, well, actually, you know what? It's going to. There's going to be, within half a mile or so, the option for it to get onto the highway, unless there's some kind of construction. There looks to be indication here about construction. Here we go with this Tundra. I don't know what it's choosing to do. Is it choosing to get onto the sidewalk and magically avoid all of this traffic that seems unavoidable? How more important are you than everybody else? Oh, let's see if it's going to decide to let anybody in here. Oh, this Toyota isn't going to give us much of an option. It's just going to make its own path. So there it goes, this Camry. And here we're going to be approaching the entrance to the highway. What will FSD do? My money says that it's going to stay on this road and then in 3.1 miles get onto the highway. Let's see how it handles this construction, because right here, as you can see, right lane is closed and we have a big old sign, lit sign, asking all of these people on this right lane to merge with the left lane. Hands off, feet off. This is a bad move. I would have gotten onto the highway, ridden that far right lane, which is essentially an highway exit lane. That surely has not saved me any number of minutes. Again, I'm not knocking the software. I'm not knocking the system itself at all. This is interesting. It's choosing not to get behind that vehicle, choosing to ride this lane for as long as it possibly can until it absolutely has to merge in the left lane here. I wouldn't do that. But hey, plenty other folks, especially those in front of me, are doing just that, so it's an option. There we go. There's a blinker. Let's see who'll let us in. Thank you so much, Toyota Highlander, for being such a good individual, road friendly. Took a little longer than I would have liked to get into the lane, but I mean, it did its job. Hard to believe that it's 50 miles an hour here. Construction zone and all that good jazz. Not as if that we can go the posted speed limit, if it is 50 miles an hour here on the access road. A lot of folks turning right here. Not us. At this point, it becomes a good idea. At this point, we look at the traffic on the highway and we tell ourselves it's got some good reasoning behind what it chooses to do. Maybe I have saved some time. Who knows? Should do a video on that, having two different vehicles, taking one path here, one path over there, and seeing which vehicle gets to the same destination first. Our own little version of Race to Vegas, but Race to Home. And speaking of which, it says that our arrival time will be 6:27. Let's see how well that holds up. My word. Toyota, not Corolla, but Toyota Camry. Took its sweet time making that right turn. And you will see in a moment that we will be stuck in traffic again. In hindsight, better of the two choices we had in front of us. Just couldn't see it. Give me 5 more minutes and then I'll be saying something different whenever I'm stuck here in traffic up ahead.
In 1 mile, stay straight to take the US 90 West Road.
No. Timid. Needed to get into the left lane and I chose not to. You see that? It's funny. Being a little apprehensive, letting other vehicles just pass it up with ease. Standard isn't that confident anymore, but I guess it found a big old gap there. We have a Model Y in front of us, another legacy Model Y. I wonder if it's running FSD as well. What are the odds, right? And I mean, for anybody who doesn't have FSD this month, such a great deal to have that free trial, and it's a little over a month. I think at the end of November, 26th, 27th, ended up getting my my free trial email, and it said January the 7th that I would have it available till January the 7th. So here we got this Cadillac wanting to get in the lane. Good job, FSD, letting it go through. Alrighty. Let's see what it does here, because there's 2 lanes, but it's just not clearly marked. We got into the lane we're supposed to. That's all that needed to happen. This left lane here, left turn. These 2 right lanes, right turns. We're going down the only lane that we can go straight on this stretch of the road. Bravo. Oh, man. Can you feel that energy, that enthusiasm in my voice throughout this stretch of the video? Can you tell I want to get home? And that I'm tired? I'll bring the energy, I promise. I'll try. Whether it's the end of this video or at the next video, I'll make up for it. Here we go. Let's see when it's going to decide to get into the left lane. A little bit of hesitation. These 2 lanes merge onto one right here. All right, not too bad. Let's see if one of these vehicles decides to get a little brave and silly to try to pass me up. That didn't happen yet. Ran into some decent luck there. There's still time for people to pass me up. I feel like there's plenty of room off to the right shoulder here, but nobody's making a move. Please, people, just stay put. Let's be safe. Let's all get home. Doesn't matter what time we get home, as long as we get home.
Now stay straight to take the
Saw
US
some
90
Christmas
West
lights
Road.
off to the distance here. The camera probably didn't catch. But that reminds me, I need to order a Christmas tree. And I need to do it yesterday. Anywho, looking forward to that, putting up a Christmas tree. We had our own Christmas tree for years, but the light bulbs went out and it's a difficult chore to cut them off, remove them. I don't want to keep that same Christmas tree with those lights that don't work, that don't do a darn thing, and then just put other lights over it. I'll be able to tell. Maybe folks won't be able to tell, not like we haven't, that many people go over to our house, but I'll be able to tell, and that's plenty reason for us to get a new tree. That actually happened 2 to 3 years back. We've been saying we need to get a new tree, and we haven't. This year it's going to happen. I'm going to pull the trigger once I get home, have some time, some downtime. Going to make it happen. We're about 8 miles away, 8.5 miles away. 20 minutes till we get to Oma. Looking forward to it. But what do you think? Leave some comments. So far, what do you think about FSD and what it's done in this commute? How competent it's been? How decisive, indecisive? Anything that you may have noticed that I didn't notice on the road that it was doing, tendencies? Whether you would stick with standard, overall impressions of standard? Leave those comments. If you're still with me at this stage. And I thank you. Again, like and subscribe for those of you who are still with me at this point of the video. Very, very appreciative of you, of anybody support out there watching these videos. That editing, it just gets me. Getting the final product out and trying to figure out what folks like. That's the one thing that's getting me right now. If y'all have any tips, I think I asked it before, but not going to hurt to ask again. Tips, tricks, any recommendations to help improve engagement, reach. Very, very appreciative. I would be very, very appreciative of your assistance. Here we go. Making a move in standard mode. Speed limit is 70. We have about 1.5 miles to go till we exit. And I'll tell you one thing, right before we get to the exit point, there is a spot 1/4 mile before we exit
In 1 mile,
that also
Texas 211 ramp.
makes a right, that also seemingly into a neighborhood, an apartment complex, right? But from time to time, FSD has been known to go down that road 1/4 mile before the actual exit. It gets bamboozled, it gets tricked into believing that is in fact the exit it needs to take. Let's see what it does today. I'm trying to get into this other lane. I feel FSD did this. FSD in standard mode got into lanes with a lot more conviction, with a lot more decisiveness than what it did just there. But maybe I'm crazy and maybe I'm imagining these things. Right here is the turn to go off right that I've had FSD mistakenly take. Mistakenly think it was the intended exit. But not today, not today. Today it's sticking with the true
Texas 211 ramp on the right.
exit here off of 211. Good work. I appreciate that. Doesn't matter how prepared I am for a possible disengagement. It's always just a little nerve-wracking when I have to do it and the traffic around me.
Keep right at the fork.
Adaptive headlights, folks. You're seeing them. And you're going to see it more and more here during this last stretch of the trip home. They're a thing of beauty. They're a marvel. Can't say enough great things about adaptive headlights. See, I feel they should have gotten into this lane a lot sooner, and it's hesitant, going a lot slower than I would like to go from one lane to another lane. But relatively no traffic behind us. Here, you'll notice orange and red to indicate a heavy amount of traffic, and this is where we're going to be stuck for a good amount of the time. Wow, okay. One thing that you noticed right there, it was going to get into the right lane, but just decided not to. And I feel that at some point the cameras observed that this right lane is a turning only lane. So that's where you see the signage up ahead. So at least that tells me it's got good field of view. Able to see a good distance ahead of it, even at nighttime, and being able to distinguish that there was a turning only sign, which meant this was a turn only lane. So it quickly, well, I don't know quickly, but it just got back to the lane. And we still have some people that ride this lane even though they're not supposed to, and they just bypass the entire traffic here without any regard to folks that are attempting to come out of this intersection here, this neighborhood. But that's why they're putting street signs here, street lights. And here it could make a move and get in the right lane, but it's not going to make a huge difference. These two lanes after this light, they end up merging. So I'm absolutely fine with it sticking here. Traffic is inevitable, much like Thanos. I am inevitable. Kind of a little Judge Dredd in that quote. I am the law. Sylvester Stallone, one of his best movies of all time. Right above Rocky. I kid. I am the law. Let's see how well it handles this merge. Right here. Oof, good stuff. Just made that light. Probably about a good 100, maybe 150 feet before we merge. It gets real fast, folks. When people want to get home and they want to do it as quickly as possible, let's see what happens. I'm going to be at my most attentive right now. As I say that, I'll pick up the phone. I'll check my text messages from my wife. And check the text messages and still had time to be ready and be attentive for this merge. Oh. I am so attentive right now, just yawning. An interesting thing right here. I mean, the visualization saying that there's 2 lanes for the foreseeable future, right? I mean, I don't know the distance that it can see ahead of itself, right? And there's variables, vehicle in front of you, right? conditions, time of day, we're at night. But here it's still indicating that there's 2 lanes for quite a bit. I wonder when it'll catch it, that 2 lanes merge onto one and decide to take action. Slowly moving. And right here, we should start seeing these lines dissolve. This F-150 is hell-bent on getting in front of me. To me, it doesn't matter. And FSD will allow it. Personally, I wouldn't allow it. But it is what it is. And then you see those lines disappear entirely. Success. Great success right here. Nobody's going anywhere anytime fast. So that was a good move, safe move. I'm surprised we don't have something here to defrost the windshield, that it automatically didn't switch that. That should be an FSD standard depending on the conditions. One thing are the windshield wipers, right? Cleaning the external windshield so you can get a good field of view. But another thing is defrosting, defogging up the windshield. That should be standard. That should be something that should be done on the back end here with FSD and programming. Somebody at Tesla, if it currently doesn't do that, please have that be a default feature, and we see the defrosting on high. Excuse that. Let me go ahead and remove. Please pay attention. Okay, so remove that. Going back down to a decent temperature.
1 mile. Turn left onto Patrick Road.
70 degrees. No need for it to be scorching hot in here. Trust me. At least this Model Y and Teslas that I've been in, whenever the heat needs to be cranked up, it'll heat up the vehicle nicely in no time. So far, so good. Wow. I wish I would have ramped up speed a lot quicker. Because what happened there? We missed an opportunity. Speed limit was 55. We were going just a tad bit over 41 miles an hour. For the last stretch of the road, when I go Mad Max. Or should I say last stretch of our trip? See how quickly those last 7 minutes, how quickly it gets us up to 55 mile an hour. And I can already tell this vehicle to the right of us wants to get ahead of us, and that's perfectly okay. We're not even trying. No interventions, no disengagements so far. Up to 58 miles an hour. Currently on Mad Max speed profile. Doing a good job of staying in front of that other vehicle and getting us to our next turn. Confidence. It's definitely exudes confidence, the speed profile. Maybe it's a little too confident, a little too cocky. I say not. Got a lot of great fast food choices here. At where I live, we have a Chick-fil-A. We have a Bill Miller. We also have a Burger Boy. And coming soon, we have a Bush's Chicken. And we have a Whataburger off to the right.
Now turn
A lot
left
of
onto
good
Padre
fast
Road.
food and healthy options available for us. I'm not complaining, trust me. No sarcasm here. Oh, wow, okay. Nope, good. Stay in here, stay in this lane. Caught that quickly. It noticed that there was a, no, don't get in. This is a turning lane only also. At night, Mad Max has some sort of a issue here. Quickly picking up on the fact that these two lanes merge onto one, and the right lane is a turning only lane. But I mean, it figured it out rather quickly. I didn't like the fact that it attempted or was going to attempt and had a little bit of jarring movement in the steering wheel to the right and then back to the left. Luckily, we're still here, no accidents, still alive. Caught it quickly. I mean, really, there's no point in staying at standard mode at this stretch. I can tell you what, there's going to be no room for us to get past anybody, really, for the next, 1.5 miles till we get home. But, okay, I'm going to start closing it up here. Real world FSD case use, morning and evening commute, FSD 14.2. Again, not my first impression, not at all, don't mistake that, but my real world case situation here. FSD did a great job. Overall, I am very pleasantly surprised at what it did, how well it performed, handled pretty much every single situation. Little hiccups here and there, right? But self-corrected itself. No disengagements, really no interventions. I think there was one at the beginning of the day, the commute, right? But that was just, it had nothing to do with the situation being unsafe. I wish there was a little bit more confidence. I wish those speed profiles
In 1,000 feet, turn right
were a
onto
bit
Hollywood Parkway. Then turn
quicker.
left
I
onto
wish
Red
standard
Pass.
mode was what I was used to in prior releases. They dialed back noticeably the speed profiles, but the autonomy is getting there. Even being able to having that luxury of texting while I'm driving for a good amount of time, I was able to, without really any kind of nags, able to get my messages, read my messages, send a few text messages back. You see a little
In 500
You see a
feet,
little
turn left
steering
onto
wheel
Red
action
Pass.
right there. This will do it. This turn will do it. But was able to do that. Overall,
Turn
again,
left onto Red
don't let
Pass.
that fool you, right? It's nighttime, and I'm trying to find any excuse not to ding it too badly. Not going the fanboy route or anything like that. I'm just being honest with my review here, my assessment of the whole scope, the entire commute, right, as a whole. So pretty good. right here, 25 miles an hour, going 30, going 5 miles over the speed limit. You'll notice that the sign over here says 30 miles an hour, right? I hope it picks it up. It did not. Somebody said pressing down on the speed limit will get it to move faster. Some fake news there, folks. Fake news. But I mean, it's not going incredibly slow, but it's not going as fast as I would like. I would appreciate a 35 mile an hour, 40 mile an hour speed right here. This is definitely not 15 or 16 miles offset, because it knows that it's in a residential area. Choosing not to go
feet, turn right onto
too
Route 7.
fast,
Then your
but
destination
just
will
going
be on
slow
the right.
enough that kind of concerns me. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video. I'm not even going to make an attempt with FSD to go into my parking garage there. I'm going to close it out. FSD 14.2.1, a step forward in a whole lot of aspects, a couple of step backs in certain tried and true instances that didn't need to have any kind of improving or any kind of meddling. So I'll stop it there. There's my wife on cue. We'll see you again on the next one.